And next, TV detectives break through style.
Hi, I'm Julian McMahon from The Profiler, and in just a moment we're going to come back and I'm going to show you a profile of my house. So don't you go away. I think the thing that would surprise people the most about my house is probably my garden and the usability of my garden. I have a lot of herbs there, anything from rosemary to thyme, to mint, to bay leaves, to basil. What would surprise people is walking through a garden like this and realizing that almost each thing that they're looking at can actually be used to cook with, to eat, for smell, for aesthetics and look and that kind of stuff. So it's a very usable or user-friendly garden, should I say.
He is known as Savvy Detective John Grant on the television series The Profiler, a man who uses the personality traits of criminals to solve the crimes. In real life, Australian-born actor Julian McMahon used his own personality traits to influence the decor of his Hollywood home.
I saw the view, and I loved the fact that it was surrounded by nature and all that kind of stuff, and that overrid anything in regards to the look of the internal part or the external part of the house. So the first thing that I did was I just changed the floors quickly. I resanded the whole floor so it had a slightly warmer look to it, so it wasn't quite as cold.
Then, Julian turned his home into a blank canvas.
I painted the parts of the outside of the house that I didn't like and parts of the inside of the house I didn't like, and turned it into a place where it was almost like a blank slate so that I could live in it for a while and then develop my taste of what I wanted it to be instead of just going straight in and making it something which I didn't really know if it would fit properly or not.
Julian's home was built in the 1960s. It features a circular great room with a mirrored ceiling and an open floor plan. Julian adapted the three-bedroom house to his personal style, plush furnishings and plenty of room to roam.
I don't think it was built with a specific style in mind. I want to actually adapt it more to a Mediterranean style, or Moroccan style actually. That's my favorite style of interior and exterior architecture.
A niche behind one of the couches became the perfect hideaway for Julian's stereo. And here's a twist on the phrase spirit world. This unusual piece in the living room is called a world bar and is originally from the famed Hearst Castle in California. For small meals or for reading, Julian added a metal and glass bistro table to a corner of the living room. Entertaining friends is a big part of Julian McMahon's life, so he combined his living room with a game room, which he built around a special gift.
So here we are at one of my favorite items in the house, my pool table, which was given to me as a gift from my co-star Robert Darby. It's actually an antique, originally designed in 1886, which is when the table was built itself. This fits into my home perfectly because it's such an entertaining piece. You can have people over for a casual afternoon's game of pool or something like that. But, you know, I like to be social, and this is definitely the hub of socializing at my house.
Another place to socialize is at the dining room table, which is actually a gaming table for cards, checkers, and bumper pool that doubles as a place to serve meals. A large armoire stores dishes or games, whatever the evening calls for. By living in his home for a few months before beginning renovations, this TV detective had a breakthrough. A room designed by the former owner of the house started to grow on Julian, so he scrapped renovation plans and saved a lot of money.
When I bought the house, the first thing I was going to do was knock out the kitchen. It's got purple tiles, it's covered in tiles, and I kind of didn't like the configuration of it. Once I decided not to knock anything out and to keep the house exactly the way it was until I'd lived in it for a while, the kitchen's now become one of my favorite areas.
Julian's backyard is a great place to be for a sunset, and it features a reminder of his homeland called a tuck shop.
When you go to school, you have your break or your lunch or your whatever, and during break time you go to the canteen, you buy your meat pies and your sausage rolls, and we call it a tuck shop.
Whether poolside or indoors, Julian McMahon's home has evolved into a spacious and peaceful setting that reflects not only his personality, but his philosophy on good living.
Home is, to me, probably the most important place in your life. Apart from your workplace, it's where you're going to spend most of your time. And you want your house to be an extension of your personality.
Profiler's Julian McMahon has also remodeled his home. The actor turned a retro bachelor pad into a modern work of art.
I was house shopping for a year, I think it was. It took me a long time to find a house. I came to this house. It was an acid house mix from the 60s or something, or a bad trip in the 70s or something, you know, like some disco era or something. I have a kind of much more old worldy kind of 1920s kind of style. You know, I'm kind of incorporating that in what really is pretty much so a modern house.
Welcome to my home. This is actually the front section of my house, which I've just recently had landscaped, as you can hear by the running waterfall. Now, this wasn't an easy thing to do. You have to have a proper filtration system, which you actually filter through rocks, and which actually comes back through up the top of the fountain over there. Hello. Hello, my boys. How are you? This is the inside of my house. So these two guys actually run and own the house. Now, over here we have one of my favorite pieces in the house. This is the antique pool table. An original 1886 Brunswick, this is. Everything on this table is obviously over 100 years old. Got a couple of friends over. It's Sunday afternoon, it's hot. So we're just gonna try a couple of these. Cheers to everybody back there from us at the Touch.